You're watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Dan Schaefer.
And I'm Nicole Williams. New at 10, medical marijuana dispensaries are officially allowed in the Rocket City. WAAY 31's Nicole Zedek was there when council members voted to approve dispensing sites within city limits.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Medical marijuana is one step closer to coming to Huntsville after City Council unanimously approved an ordinance required by the state to opt in and allow dispensaries in city limits.
Medical cannabis definitely has its uses.
But council members want to make sure the product doesn't take over our city.
Where the dispensaries are on every corner, they're in residential areas, they're in just shopping areas.
The state of Alabama won't allow that.
With restriction distances from residential, from schools, from child cares.
Plus limits on the number of facilities.
There's a theoretical maximum of 9 in Madison County.
The Planning Commission is going one step further than the state legislature, adding zoning ordinances so medical marijuana dispensaries could only be in medical districts.
These extra regulations that we have proposed would likely mean that only the most serious and best equipped companies would go through the extra steps.
Huntsville City Council now cautiously moving forward.
Make sure that it's as tightly controlled as we hope it possibly can be.
Reporting in Huntsville, Nicole Zedek, WAAY 31 News.
The Planning Commission will introduce its zoning regulations to the council in November, followed by a vote in December before the ordinance goes into effect on December 23rd. Huntsville joins 25 other municipalities throughout the state that have approved dispensaries in their jurisdiction. One of the largest HBCU Classic football games may be played at a different venue next year. Since 1940, the matchup between Alabama A&M and Alabama State has been played at Legion Field in Birmingham. Carrie Coleman, a representative with the Alabama Sports Council, says university presidents will need to talk about whether they believe the game should stay at Legion Field or move to the new protective stadium in the heart of downtown Birmingham. Latasha Patton, who has attended the Classic for the past 10 years, believes Legion Field is the best fit.
Going downtown, that's going to be a no for me because Protective Stadium is big, it's nice, it's new, but it's not going to be able to accommodate all of the people, and we got the tailgating. So leaving it here at Legion Field is going to be great because it's more of a cultural, it's a heritage thing that's been going on for so long.
Coleman says as of now, they're not leaning one way or another as far as where the game will be played next year. She says there's no timeline on when the meeting between university presidents will take place.
Tonight, a wave of uncertainty in the housing market as mortgage rates are rising. Right now, 30-year fixed interest rate mortgages are more than 7%. Just last year, they were less than half that. Here in North Alabama, the rule of supply and demand is still in play, though. The number of homes on the market in Madison County is up, but the length of time they stay on the market is also up. Prices, on the other hand, are staying pretty flat after a wild, record-setting pace in the last few years.
We shift to try to seek out ways to accommodate and even encourage buyers and sellers alike. Hey, this is an opportunity for you. Where you only had maybe 24 hours if you were lucky to make a decision on a property, you've got a little bit more time now. And we're able to really seek out the best opportunities for you.
Buyers and sellers are getting creative, too. Some are picking up closing costs, working on other ways to get deals done, even if they are taking a little longer to close. Experts say interest rates are expected to start falling next year, according to recent forecasts. Even as mortgage rates soar, the U.S. economy is making a rebound. The Bureau of Economic Analysis reports gross domestic product increased by a yearly rate of 2.6% in the third quarter. Analysts say the boost in growth was primarily strengthened by fewer imports from foreign countries and consumers spending more on travel and dining. Another boost, though, might not be likely in the near future. The Center for Economic and Policy Research says due to the Federal Reserve's ongoing rate hikes, it could take a while to see another positive report.
Plenty of clear sky out and about tonight. Some high thin clouds. You can even see them here from the Gunnersville camera view. Currently, our temperatures are feeling fairly comfortable. We do have the opportunity to see mainly clear skies through half of the night, and then those clouds will begin to move on through. Temperatures are sliding. Upper 50s for most of us, middle 50s out toward Decatur, and much of the region looking at cooling down, especially as we get early morning hours into those lower 50s, even some upper 40s. Right now, though, temperatures are fairly comfortable, though on the decline. The system we're watching is way out to our west. It's actually a low pressure system. It's going to dive down to the south, and as it scoots north and east, it's going to bring us some rain this weekend. But for right now, I think we are okay. Not only tonight, but into Friday as well. We will be dry, but rain chances are going up. So here's what you need to know. It will be a cool night with a few passing clouds possible. We'll start out with some sunshine on Friday. That's going to help us warm up, but midday and late afternoon, those clouds will fill in, and that's a sign that we are setting it up for that weekend rain. I'll be back to time it out for you, but for tonight, it's going to be a chilly one. Be prepared if you're heading out early tomorrow.
Olga, thanks. Tennis legend Serena Williams was in the Rocket City tonight as a nonprofit continues its work of empowering young girls. As WAAY 31's Matt Paskowitz explains, Girls Inc. is celebrating 50 years and counting.
A full crowd here at the VBC to hear tennis star Serena Williams give her keynote address as part of the Fuel Her Fire Sneaker Gala event. Now they are asking everyone to wear their best sneakers tonight, so of course I obliged, putting on my Air Jordan 1s. The event organizers are hoping that tonight's festivities will help raise money for the over 3,000 girls involved here in North Alabama with Girls Inc.
Very excited.
It is not every day when one of the greatest athletes of all time makes an appearance. Tennis legend Serena Williams took her talent off the court and onto the stage as she spoke to hundreds of young girls.
I was in shock and disbelief. I couldn't believe it was happening, let alone to me.
Serena was invited to attend Girls Inc.'s 50th anniversary celebration with the theme of wearing your best sneakers. Every type of shoe you could think of was on hand as people dressed up for the big night. Girls Inc., which organized the event, believed having a celebration would not be complete without an important guest speaker.
That she's an inspiring person, and she's famous, so she's just like my role model.
I think that she teaches a lot of people that they can do it no matter what anybody else says or thinks, no matter what you look like, where you come from, that you can do it.
Along with having a fun night, the nonprofit was hoping to raise funds to continue their after-school programs. For one member, she feels being in the group for 8 years has helped her become who she is today.
I've learned that different people in different backgrounds can all help each other do the same things and strive you to be a better woman.
All proceeds from the event went towards ensuring more young women like Tamia grow into successful adults. A goal of $500,000 was set to help continue Girls Inc.'s mission right here in North Alabama. And I've already been told before the event even started, they have already met that goal. Reporting in Huntsville, I'm Matt Paskowitz, WAAY 31 News.
Girls Inc. of Huntsville was founded in 1972. It continues to help girls become successful adults through education in mathematics, leadership, and healthy living.
Well, the rocket industry is booming here in North Alabama. Earlier today, ULA and Beyond Gravity broke ground on a new facility in Decatur. It'll be a warehouse for ULA to store its rockets and a new factory for rocket fairings, the top of the rocket that protects the payload. It also adds 200 new jobs. And we caught up with ULA CEO Tory Bruno today. His company's gearing up to launch dozens of new Vulcan rockets that will carry Amazon's new Kuiper broadband satellites into orbit. He calls Alabama the place to build rockets, and Marshall Space Flight Center is the reason his rocket factory is here.
They have test facilities that are really, really exotic and capable that they make available to industry. So you enter into a partnership with Marshall, you then have access to this stuff that any individual company would have a hard time building and maintaining. It's a way that the country pools its resources to make that available to all of industry for the country's benefit through NASA.
And he's been able to streamline the supply chain. Blue Origin builds the BE-4 engine for the ULA Vulcan rocket right here in Huntsville. Beyond Gravity's new facility that was announced today will build the rocket fairings. Bruno says the first Vulcan will ship to the launch site in Florida in November. A man convicted on 7 counts of capital murder will wait to learn his punishment when Jimmy Spencer's sentencing hearing will now take place.
And a North Alabama nurse with a new lease on life. How Jamie White uses her own experience with breast cancer to help patients. Today on WAAY 31 Morning News, we introduce you to Jamie White, the nurse navigator with the Cancer Center at North Alabama Medical Center. WAAY 31's Marie Waxel continues her story now with a look at Jamie's own battles and how it fuels her passion for her patients.
Before she was the nurse navigator, Jamie White was a clinical nurse at the Cancer Center.
I had been here about a year. I started here in 2008 and was diagnosed with breast cancer about 10 or 11 months after that. So I had been here just a little bit when I got diagnosed.
Jamie had breast cancer.
Like everybody, I thought I was going to die. You know, how long do I have to live? Those were the first things through my mind. It doesn't matter if you're tough or you know something about cancer or you're a cancer nurse or a doctor. That's kind of your instant thought. So
the sting of the diagnosis still lingers.
I still remember the exact day, and the practitioner that worked for us, I remember her exact words: "We can fix this. You know, we can fix this. There's a lot we can do for this, and we can fix this."
And they did.
Then I was clear for about a year, and in September of 2009, it came back to my brain. So again, it was a whole new fears and new appointments and new procedures. So at the time, we didn't offer in this area the type of radiation that I needed, so I was actually sent to UAB and got radiation in one treatment. So, and I've been cancer-free since '09.
Over the last 14 years, Jamie uses her journey to help others.
When they come and see us to get their plan and find out if they're going to have to take chemo or radiation, and then you see them on the best day when they're done and are told they're cancer-free. So that's pretty amazing.
Empowering others during their own battles.
People think that it's a sad place to work. People that ask you where you work and you tell them a cancer center, they think it's sad, but it's not sad. There's tons of wonderful things that happen.
Inspired by the strength of her patients.
We do a lot early in the morning because patients want to go to work and they're working through chemo. They're taking chemo and going straight to work, or they're taking radiation on their lunch break, and that's wonderful to see, and they're able to do that safely. In most instances, they're able to do that because it's not like you hear that they're just sick all the time.
Witnessing firsthand the stories of survival and fighting against misconceptions.
When I hear people say they'll never find a cure for cancer or they're hiding a cure for cancer, we're curing cancer every single day in multiple people all the time. So there is. Cancer is just very specific. There's not one cure for all cancer, and they're not hiding that. We're giving it to people every day.
Marie Waxel, WAAY 31 News.
You can find more of White's profile along with other stories of survival from breast cancer survivors on our website at WAAYTV.com.
An illness outbreak is putting a hold on learning across the state line. Lincoln County schools will be closed tomorrow. The district says it's because of an increase in sick students, staff, and faculty.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Olga Breeze and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
It's been a very clear night across the region, and our winds have dialed back to about 2 to 5 miles per hour, and that's setting us up for a very cold night tonight. Temperatures have dropped significantly over the last 4 hours. Although it's clear now, we'll get a few passing clouds from time to time tonight, but temperatures are a bit chilly now. 54 for Decatur across the board. We're seeing mainly those winds out of the east and the northeast, but again, not too brisk. We will continue to see a mix of clouds and clear sky overnight tonight as the temperatures bottom out. For right now, though, we're feeling pretty good. 56 in Huntsville, the city center, a little bit warmer, but we'll actually see a bit of a chill if you're that early riser tomorrow morning. Quiet on our WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. That's because the low pressure system is way off toward our east. You can see it's spinning up a lot of rain through Kansas and in toward the Intermountain West, Denver, and northern portions of Albuquerque. The low pressure system is still sitting in that region. It's going to dive down to the south and then make a track up and across our region and head into the New England states. And as it does so, it's going to bring us some rain over the weekend. 71, the official high for today. Not too far off the mark for this time of year, but we will have a couple of cool mornings for the next couple of days before things start to shift. So partly cloudy overnight tonight, mainly winds out of the east, but fairly light. And as we head into tomorrow, we'll start the day with a mix of sun and clouds, but sunshine will prevail through most of the day on Friday. That's going to make our temperatures much warmer than today. We'll get out of those lower 70s. We should hit the middle 70s by tomorrow afternoon, but then late in the day, those clouds will start to move in. That's a sign that we are setting up for that weekend rain. It will be overcast on both Saturday and Sunday. So here's what you need to know about our rain chances, mainly Saturday afternoon and evening. So rain chances are predominantly overnight from Saturday night into Sunday morning, and portions of the day on Sunday will be a little bit wet. As we move into the afternoon and evening on Sunday, we should start to clear out. So let's time it out with our future radar. It's one of our forecast models, and for the most part, it is keeping a very nice afternoon for tomorrow. If you're heading out to one of the football games, the clouds will be here by about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, but not the rain. We're going to hold off on that until we get into the Saturday forecast. Saturday starts off cloudy but dry, but rain begins to creep in as early as 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock for some of our western counties, but most of us hold off on the bulk of that rain till almost 8 o'clock on Saturday night. It will rain off and on throughout the night and even those early morning hours before we start to clear out and dry out by Sunday afternoon. Rain opportunities for most of us will be about ½ an inch. There are a few pockets of areas, though, that could see up to 1 inch of rain. The 7-day forecast is going to stay on the mild side both Friday and Saturday, but as that front moves through and behind it, temperatures hold in the 60s throughout Monday and Tuesday. We're barely 70 degrees, but at least we are going to be dry on Monday for Halloween. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
A convicted triple murderer will have to wait 2 more weeks to learn his fate. Jimmy Spencer's sentencing hearing has been postponed until November 14th. Wednesday, a jury found Spencer guilty on 7 counts of capital murder for the killings of Martha Relaford, Marie Martin, and her great-grandson, Colton Lee. It happened back in 2018. During the sentencing, the jury will decide between either life in prison without parole or the death penalty.
A Madison County mother charged with capital murder for her child's drowning death could face a possible death sentence. Prosecutors filed notice with the court saying they will seek a death sentence for LaConia Braithwaite. She was arrested in July for her 2-year-old daughter's drowning death in a bathtub. Braithwaite's case has been sent to a grand jury.
And coming up next in sports, we'll talk high school football. The Brooks Lions in action tonight with the playoff spot on the line.
And now, sports coverage you can count on with Sports Director Nolan Knight.
With it being the last week of the high school football regular season, most of the playoff spots across the state have been claimed, but not all of them. The Brooks Lions were hoping with the win tonight that they could clinch their spot in the postseason. A win over Lauderdale County, though, is easier said than done. These two schools always going to give each other their best shot, and the Brooks Lions would come out firing. Hunter Himber with a quarterback draw. He slips through the Lauderdale D. He's in for the score. They would add to that lead. 2-point conversion is good there. The Tigers, they would manage to hold the Lions a couple of times on the goal line, but in the end, it is the Lions who clinched their spot in the playoffs with a 28-7 win. What a great first season for new head coach Tim Bones. All right, let's look at some other scores from the Shoals. Big matchup tonight at Muscle Shoals as the Trojans hosted 7A Sparkman, and it is the Trojans that take care of business at home, finishing their impressive season with a 31-21 win. While at Ardmore, they hit the road to take on Central Florence, and the Wildcats win a shootout 49-41. Meanwhile, here in Huntsville, the Mae Jemison Jags, they were hosting their senior night as well as East Limestone. The Indians would get something going early. Outside handoff to Aiden Griffin. He's going to pick up a big first down here as East Limestone would lead 7-0 early, but Jemison would get their offense going. Check this out, maybe the best spin of the season. Darion Taylor hits the brakes, goes 180, and floors it to set up the Jags O, and that's when Jaden Burrows back up and throws one up. He connects with Gavin Jordan for the score, tie game. But on the next offensive play for East Limestone, the Indians would find pay dirt. How about Keon Rogers making one cut and winning a foot race? The Indians out on top as they go on the road tonight and finish their season with a 45-6 win. Next up for the Indians, they'll take on Arab next Friday in the first round of the playoffs. All right, let's look at the other scores from tonight in an awesome matchup between Valley Head and Collinsville. The Panthers take this one 27-22, giving the Tigers their first loss of the year, while at Colbert Heights, DHCA ends their regular season with a loss. They drop one to the Wildcats 20-13. Also in action today, the state volleyball tournament was underway, ending what has been a busy week in Birmingham. 17 area teams made the trip south this week to try to compete for a state championship. Yesterday, Westminster Christian claimed the 5A title. Today, Bob Jones and Playview, they were hoping to claim a blue map of their own.
If you're looking for blue maps, Birmingham is the place to be, with 3 up for grabs on Thursday. And with Plainview and Bob Jones in action, the 3A and 7A titles had a chance to return to North Alabama. The 3A title game featured 2 schools both looking for their first volleyball title, Plainview and Prattville Christian. The Panthers opened the first set on fire, a 9-0 run to get things started, but the Bears worked themselves back into the mix, thanks in part to big blocks like this one from Cadence Lyles. The Panthers would dominate in the first set, but the Bears responded and took the second. But Prattville's Hannah Jones played an insane game, leading the Panthers with 30 kills and 17 digs, as she proved to be too much in this one. A major factor in the third and fourth set wins, Jones sent the ball over on the championship point, and that was all she wrote. After picking up the red map, Bears head coach Casey Kirk spoke about what this season has meant.
I really felt confident about this season. This same group is the same group that was in the finals 2 years ago. It's not the heart, it's not the intent. They really do attempt to come out as, 100% every game, but that's just not always what you get. So I'm proud of them, regardless. I'm proud of them from getting to this point.
Well, just a few hours later, the Bob Jones Patriots had their chance at the 7A title as they squared off with McGill-Tulane. The Yellow Jackets took the first and second sets, winning the second frame by 13 points. The third was a battle for every point, and the Patriots took it 25-20 to keep their title hopes alive. Kennedy Vaughn was in attack mode, racking up a team-high 13 kills, but in the fourth set, the Yellow Jackets dealt that fatal sting, closing it out 25-18 and keeping Bob Jones from their first title of the 2020s. After the loss, head coach Jenny Jarrett spoke about just how special a group this is.
I knew when I got there that they had some athletes and that we could be really good, but I had no idea that I'd be sitting here today. They bought in all the way, and that is a big part of our success.
So 2 maps make their way back up to North Alabama, but both of them are red. Still unforgettable seasons for both teams. That'll wrap things up from Bill Harris Arena in Birmingham. Max Cohan, WAAY 31 Sports.
And lastly, tomorrow night at the VBC, the Huntsville Havoc, they'll host their first home game of the season. It should be fun to have hockey back in Huntsville. That'll do it for sports. Olga.
Well, a pretty clear night for half of the night. We'll see a few clouds towards sunrise, but don't be fooled. We are in for a sunny day on Friday. Things will change midday on Friday as the clouds begin to move in the afternoon. Still, we'll see the opportunity to get to 75 degrees. Then the rain moves in. Not all day Saturday, but the second half of the day and all Saturday night into Sunday. It could be a little bit damp and messy. Then, as we get behind that next system, we keep our temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. We're looking great for Halloween Monday with sunny skies and a high of 68.
For 24/7 coverage you can count on, local news, breaking news, and severe weather, go to WAAYTV.com.
1 hour with Jimmy Kimmel is next, and then Nightline. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.